Hello, guys. Hi,
Hello,
everyone.
everyone.
Good evening. Hi, Kenneth.
Hello, Eri.
I saw, wow, so far there are 50 over of you who are live with us already. Thank you so
All
much for
right.
joining us on time. All right. Now, those of you who are watching us live right now, please say hi to us, okay? So that if you can hear us loud and clear, okay, let us know. And yeah, let us know where you're from as well. Okay, I have, of course, Kenneth here with me. I'm sure you guys are here today because we're gonna have this Q&A session where you can ask him any questions that you have on Bazi, especially those questions that you have after you attend the webinar that we had on 13th of September, 3 days ago, right? All right, I see Joel John here, Anatolia saying hi, Jan, Alice Koo, John Simon, hello guys.
Hello, guys. Hello, Elena.
All right. Can you guys let us know, right? How many of you here have either attended the Rewire for Wealth webinar that Kenneth conducted on 3 days ago? Or you have watched the replay, you have registered for it and you got the replay and you have watched it? Type in me in the chat so that we know most of you have already watched it. And I think your questions are more related to some of the information that Kenneth has shared during the webinar. All right. Okay. So now by the end of this session, right? I think the last round, the last live Q&A that I had with Kenneth, we did some live readings, right? And I bet you guys, like it a lot. Right? So I think towards the end of this session, we might pick a few of you, okay, to have these live readings as well. All right. So what you got to do when I say, okay, it's time for live reading. So what you got to do is you type in your date of birth, okay, gender, all right, as well as what you would like to know from your chart. Don't just your questions are what you would like us to focus on. More detail, more elaboration is better. Higher chances for you to get picked, okay? Because we don't have to come back to you and ask you, yeah, so what you want to know. Okay, guys? You guys cool with this, right? Okay. So Kenneth, now during the webinar, right? So we saw, I know that time during the webinar you couldn't see the chat because the chat froze on you, right?
Yeah,
So
that's
I think
right.
a lot of questions when you were conducting it, right? That are asking about, what if I have no wealth star, zero wealth star? I personally don't have any zero. I have 0% of wealth stars in my chart as well. Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
maybe let's start with, you know, making them feel better, okay, for having 0% wealth stars.
Okay. Hi, guys. This is Kenneth here. Okay. Now, if you have a low percentage of well stars, or you're like Ari, you have zero well stars. Apart from Ari, right, the rest of you are going to be rich. Okay. Okay. I'm just joking here, right? Now, the thing is, well stars does not mean, okay, let's just get rid of all the myths around. Okay, well stars does not dictate, okay, whether you're going to be rich or whether you're going to be wealthy. Okay, it basically influences you on your attitude towards money, towards wealth. Okay, so now if you have a very low percentage, when I say low, that means maybe below 50% in both direct wealth, DW, and IW, indirect wealth. What this means is that your attitude towards money becomes very detached. So if you're like Ari, where you have 0% percentage in wealth, that means she's a spendthrift lah. So if you go and have just say a lunch with her, right? She'll be very willing to, if she likes you, of course, she'll be very willing to pay for your meal. Okay. All right. So the thing is
To be
because
honest, yeah, let me stop you there for a
yeah,
while. To be honest, I really am a spendthrift. I used to be, but I tried to control a lot in my
yeah.
recent years. I used to spend on, handbags, a few $1,000s on handbags and all. I have behaved myself a lot recently. Okay, go
Now,
ahead.
I guess only for the time being. Now she transfer her spendthrift habits from herself to her kids. Okay, so I guess you know when you first, especially when you first had your first kid, right? Precious and everything, right? You wanted to buy like branded baby clothes that she could only wear for 2 months, right? Stuff like that, right? I mean that is That is pretty common. Okay. So right, I see you see that smile now. That's a guilty smile, guys. Okay. So what I mean by when you have low wealth stars means you get detached. You don't understand the concept of money. You don't you see basically you don't appreciate the value of money. That should be more a proper description of your attitude towards money. It's just something that you can spend to get what you want. So you don't really appreciate money, you just spend it, right? So it's money to you is just a number. It's a number to keep score, basically, right? But you don't see money like people who have a higher percentage of wealth stars, right? So this is what I mean by you are detached from the concept of wealth.
I think it doesn't mean that, we don't love money, right? It's just mean that we cannot manage our financial wealth. That's why we spend a lot on things that are not necessarily supposed to be spent on.
Okay, she's just trying to defend herself now. Yep, that's just in a nutshell. That's what it means. You can't manage money, but if you break it down into both kinds of wealth, one is you can't manage money. The other one is that you get too tempted at getting stuff that you like, that you just expend whatever money that you have. So that's the two ways of preventing yourself from having more money over time.
Okay. Now, I think I got carried away a little bit, yeah, when we started. Yeah, I forgot to ask. Okay, I hope all of you, I hope all of you know a little bit about parser. At least have got your parser chart plotted out. Am I right? Okay. Otherwise, you wouldn't understand what we are talking about at all. But either way, this Q&A session is actually meant to address the questions that the attendees of the webinars have, right? So I assume that most of you already have your parter chart plotted. You already know a little bit about parter. You have attended the webinar and you have more questions that you need to ask, Kenneth, which is why you are here with us. Am I right? Okay, type a 1, okay, if I'm correct. All right? And yeah, after that, right, while we are talking, please, if you have any questions that you want to ask, please feel free to type in the comment. We'll pick it up and Kenneth will address your questions accordingly. All right.
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it, guys.
So, Kenneth, in the webinar, you also mentioned that friend star. If we have 0 wealth stars, okay, DW or IW in our chart, but we have a higher percentage on friend. All right, that means something. Am I right? Why don't you explain a little bit here?
Well, it means the same thing like what we were talking about. That means your personal interest overrides the importance of wealth, right? So basically, when you see something that you like, you just spend, right? So you don't really care about having how much money in the bank account. You care more about what interests you, right? Maybe you like an online course, you just buy it because you can afford it, right? Maybe finally you have like $1,000 in your bank account. Then someone says, "Hey, would you like to invest $800?" Then you're like, "Oh, okay." Right? So the money just keeps coming out because you are in pursuit of your personal, just say desires, not for wealth, but just say your personal interest, things that you like, and because you can afford it, you just spend it.
I actually think that totally describes me. Okay,
Yeah, I know.
you read me
Well,
like a book, Kenneth.
yeah. Well, because I am the same. I'm a very high percentage friend, and I've got very, I'm talking about extremely low wealth percentages. And Datuk Joyak did mention that people who are like extremely high friend and very low wealth, you don't look at money as money. You look at money as just a number, right? So basically, the number means, oh, if I can afford it, okay, you just spend it anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Really, for me, it's
exactly.
like you can't bring your money into your grave with you, right? So I think life is much more than just keeping your money and not spending it. So that's my principle of life. Spend
Yeah,
on things that makes me happy. All
exactly.
right, let's take
Because when
some
you have, yeah.
questions.
All right, let's
Go for it.
go.
I've seen some questions here already. Now, John Simon is asking, What about DE in Wealth Star?
I think what you mean is when your wealth star is in the DE. Okay. Now, that means every one of us would have two animal signs that are in DE. DE means death and emptiness. That means it's a void. Okay. Now, unless your only wealth star in your entire chart is in that, I'm just assuming, okay, that your only wealth star is in the animal sign that has DE. Okay. I can tell you this because this is my case. My only wealth star is in DE. That means DE, sorry, not DE. DE means you are a bit detached from your wealth. The same thing as having a low percentage. All right, because in DE, basically the energy is halved. All right, halved, or basically you don't feel the energy of the wealth star. Okay, so we can naturally take it as a low percentage without being too technical here. Okay, so you can just treat, if your wealth star is, if you have other wealth stars, then just ignore this one. But if your entire chart's wealth star falls under DE, then just take it as your wealth star has a very, very low percentage.
Okay, but I think that is an information for you, John Simon. Okay, I think it does not mean that you are not capable of generating wealth at all. All right, a lot of people, I think, misunderstood when they see DE in our terms, right? Okay, death and emptiness. Okay, they got really carried away. Oh no.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just information. All right, how you apply it, what do you do, okay, to achieve what you want to, can totally be planned out, okay, based on the other elements in your chart. All right. Okay.
Correct.
Now, let me see. PT Tan here asks, would like to know if friends affect the direct wealth and indirect wealth. I think we just answered that way, right?
Sorry. Friends affect. Okay, the friend star does not affect the DW and IW. It does not affect. Okay, when you're born in that chart, when you're born, right, the chart is fixed. All right, and including your 10-year luck cycles, they're all fixed. The only difference is that the only thing that changes is the annual animal signs that affects the energies of your friend, your DW and IW.
All right, PT Tan, I think that's quite simple. All right, and for you to understand. Am I right? All right. Now, I have a question. Okay, if for people who are like me, I want to use myself as an example because I'm more familiar with my chart. Okay, with zero wealth stars, no DW, no IW. I have my highest profile as friend star at 88%. How can I leverage on information like this that is in my chart to plan how I should, what I should do to get more money?
Okay, first of all, you have to understand that when you have zero wealth stars, naturally there is already a wealth block, okay, that is preventing you from having more money. Now, the issue is never about getting the money, because just go get a job and then you have salary and then you get money, right? Now, when you have zero wealth stars, it's about keeping whatever money that you manage to make. Now, when you have zero wealth stars, that means you have no concept of keeping money, because you don't appreciate it in the first place. You are basically chasing after your interests, what you like, right? That's why you're spending all the money, right? So what happens is that, for DW, is we are talking about cash flow, all right? So because every month, we have expenses, rental, repayments, whatever it may be, right? So now, if you can manage your cash flow, just say you're earning $1,000 a month, all right? And just say the easiest way to control it is that don't spend more than you earn, right? That is management. That is DW. That's financial management, right? So just say you earn $1,000 and you spend $800. Now every month you have a cash flow positive of $200, isn't it? Okay. And then if you listen to my webinar, if you want to utilize your IW, then apart from investments, because at your current stage, when you have cash flow issues, you are not ready for investments. Okay. So what happens is that you can strategize, right? You can strategize to get yourself into a better financial position. For example, right? You make an effort. If you know that you love eating at restaurants and everything else, right? Try to regulate it. I don't want to get rid of, I don't want to make you suffer because you're going to crave for it. So instead of visiting the restaurant like 4 times a week, reduce it to twice, 50%. That is a strategy that you can practice and refine over time. And this is almost a guarantee. This is almost a guaranteed result. Okay. If you do that together with financial management, your bank account will grow fatter and fatter.
Yeah, I think that is a fact of my life that I gotta. Yeah, I usually really spend a lot, okay, more than I supposed to. I mean, cash flow wise, I feel okay, all right, but I spend a lot. Okay, so
Yeah.
thank you so much for that piece of advice, Kenneth. All right, let's pick some other questions that I see here. A lot of you are asking more technical, parts of technical related questions. If you have any questions that can help you identify what you should do with it, I think you could post that as well instead of just asking parts of technical questions. Yeah, guys. All right. Meanwhile, Olivia Sutanto here is asking if my direct wealth DW is hidden in our month pillar. DW is 73%. What does it mean when wealth star is hidden? Is in hidden stamp?
When your wealth star is basically in the animal branches, that's what it means by in the hidden stand, right? It's not on top, right? What this means is that you have to work harder to expose the potential of the cash flow. That means your wealth opportunities are hidden, which requires work, all right, on your part to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. That is the simplest explanation, right? This is if it's 100% dependent on your own efforts. So, for example, if your DW is in the hour talks about assets, talks about your thoughts, right? So there's going to be a bit of effort required, right, for you to manage your assets in order to grow your wealth. All right. For example, if you buy a house, right, what are the things that you have to do to maximize the rental returns? All right. That requires a lot of monitoring. That requires a lot of, how to control the amount of, just say, renovation costings you're going to throw into the house. All right. Are you going to transfer the utility bills to your tenants? That's all the house, right? So there's a lot of work that you need to manage. That's DW. DW is all about management, right? To increase the potential of your wealth. Now, if you have the DW in your month, it applies the same thing in your career or in your job, right? There's more things that you have to do for the purpose of wealth. For example, DW in your month, right? It could also mean taking more responsibility and ownership in the job that you do. Don't just do the basic that you're paid. Take more initiative. Show your bosses that you want to do your job better. Show him that you have suggestions to do your job in a more efficient and cost-effective way for better results. Okay. Then once your boss takes notice of you, whenever there's a promotion opportunity, you will be on the list.
All right. Can I summarize it as what you have just said as people who have hidden DW or IW, okay, instead of having it on top, okay, it has to put in more efforts, money is tougher on them lah. Am I right? Can I say it that way?
I wouldn't say it's tougher, but I would say that there is a condition, and the condition is you need to manage. You need to put in more effort to manage.
All right. Okay, Olivia. So I hope that helps you. All right. Let me look at this. Rizal is asking, if the chart doesn't have output and wealth, does it mean that the person will be poor for the entire life? I can answer you no. Okay. Any solution to increase wealth capacity for that chart? I think that's a pretty good question.
Then I'm going to give you a very zen answer. It's a bit rare if you have no output and no wealth. Okay. That means don't depend on the chart for opportunities. You create your own opportunities. Let me break this down for you. Output is about your ability to create. That means think of ideas, strategize, come up with a plan. You basically have no talent in that. Okay? So basically what happens is there is a short way, there is an easy way, and there is a hard way. The hard way is you learn to be creative. You train yourself. Now, normally people are not so interested in the hard way, right? So I'm going to give you the easy way. Copy and paste? Copy and paste, right? The entire China did that to grow their economy in the first 10 years. It did very well for them. So what you do is instead of trying to be creative and think of ideas yourself, see whatever's working already outside. Do the same thing. Okay, now that's for output. Okay, now for wealth, again, if you have no wealth stars, that means even if you copy and paste whatever's working and you get the money, you will not be, you have a tendency to spend all that money away. So again, you need to learn personal finance, right? If you run a business, you need to learn corporate finance. You need to learn cash flow. All right. If you're lazy to learn, get an accountant who is very strict. Get an accountant who you are afraid of. And when she says no, you cannot take out money, no, you cannot spend money, then just listen to her.
Or get a wife who controls you that way, all right, Rizal?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So, so I think the solution to increase the wealth capacity is basically create your own opportunities. Am I right?
That's correct. Okay, why am I saying that is because, see, we can't control what we are born with. When we are born, the chart is set, right? So, you see, whatever you're born with is just talents. Now, people who have a lot of wealth does not mean that they can't get rich. It just means that their talents are not trained, not activated. That means in real life, you don't practice it. That's basically what it means, right? So now if you're born without that talent, you can replace the missing talent with a learned skill set, which is like personal financial management. Right? You learn basic cash flow. Don't spend more than you earn. And that is almost a the guaranteed way of gaining money over time. Right?
Yep. Totally agree with that. Okay, Rizal. So I hope you can take that advice, okay, and do something about it. All right. I saw let's take this. Mabel Lim is asking if DW is hidden in month, are they destined to be in a career working for other people?
Well, you have a tendency to seek comfort in a job. Basically, that is what it means, right? Basically, you are more, without more information from the chart, DW in hidden in the month means, you are more comfortable, right? Being in a job because you think that, the safer way is to work for people and hide behind the security of a monthly paycheck.
And I think
That's
working
basically
for
what it means. Yeah.
people, working for others, right, is always the easier way out, right? Because you get you get your salary every month as long as you work for them for the entire month, right? Unlike starting your own business or doing something on your own, it totally depends on your own capacity, your discipline, okay, and your determination on what you're gonna earn for the month itself. Okay, let's pick one more question over here. Pei Fang is asking if RW Rob Wealth is in the luck pillar with DW, DO, and HO in the hidden stem. Does that mean for the 10 years, due to the clashes, I will be losing a lot of money?
If you don't come for a consult with me, yes.
That's a good one.
Okay, let me tell you why. Okay, not just me. Okay, when you come for consults, you get answers. All right, and now the RW in the luck pillar. Now, a lot of people, this is very common. A lot of people, when they see RW, because it stands for Rock Wealth. Now, Rock Wealth is not losing money. Okay, try to understand this. Rob wealth is not losing money, but if you do nothing about it, it will be losing money. Why? Rob wealth is about money coming out. Now let me ask you: if you want to buy a house that's going to appreciate appreciate, just say 30%, right, in the next 6 to 7 years, don't you have to come up money to purchase that house?
Of course.
That is Rob wealth. Money is coming out. If you want to learn a skill, don't you have to sign up for a course? US 1997, Joey Up, learn how to be rich, right? For example, if you want to learn how the skill of, improving your wealth status, do you need to spend money? That is Rob wealth, right? What you will realize is that if you don't channel the money coming out for a more beneficial purpose in the future, that becomes losing money. That means losing money can be this, all right? If you go shopping on a Rob wealth month, you will realize that you will end up buying more things than you should. Okay. Now I have done a very when I was learning parts. Okay, I'm a bit of a rebellious kind of guy. So what happens is that I know that this month is my Rob wealth month, right? So I deliberately did not go out for the entire month. So if I don't go out, I don't spend money. I wanted to prove Dato' Joey wrong. Okay, this was my intentions. Okay, I want to show that no, I am going to overcome my destiny. But because I stayed at home so much, right? And Singapore, we have very hot weather, so I was switching on my air conditioning more. Guess what happened? During that month, right, my aircon broke down and I had to spend money to repair it.
And your electricity bill also should hike up a lot, right?
Yeah, exactly. So, don't try to fight it, accept it and intelligently use it for your own benefit.
Okay,
Right?
now I'm curious. Let's say, for instance, you mentioned, okay, if like for example, Pei Fang saw that RW is in a 10-year luck pillar already. Okay, so she can actually leverage on this RW star in the luck pillar to plan on purchasing or investing in something that could appreciate in value, either physically or for herself, a skill that could help her gain more money. Am I, instead of waiting for it to happen, which anything that is unplanned usually will not be pleasant now. Am I right?
Correct. Because if it's unplanned, the energy will work anyway, regardless whether you like it or not. So when we do parts, right, we try to align our activities with the energy so that we control the activities instead of being hit by life, right? Now to give Pei Fang a bonus, right? RW is about making deals. Okay. So for example, right, profit sharing. Right, that's losing, that's money coming out. That means you don't take the 100% profit. All right, making deals, right? I spend some money with you, you teach me a skill, that's making a deal. Okay, or just say you do contract work, right? You earn a commission. You do a referral service, you earn a commission. That's very RW. Okay, that's if you're working for people. Now if you own your own business, RW, all right, could be striking a partnership deal with another bigger company to further your business activities. Okay, I'm going to assume Pei Fang is an employee for now. And let's try to use RW, DW, DO, and HO, right? Now RW is on top. So on top is what is being seen by people. That's what's obvious. So for example, Pei Fang working on top, right? I mean, Pei Fang, the RW is on top and Pei Fang is an employee. What it could mean is that Pei Fang, for this 10 years, she takes on a lot of contract work. Okay? DW is about working, right? So she works very hard for these contracts, right? DO is about bosses. So she strikes deal with bosses because whoever gives you the contract, right, is your boss anyway. So you can have multiple bosses. And HO is about performance. So she could be, basically, if you use RW, DW, DO, and HO, it could be, for this 10 years, she has 99% of her work is contract based. She has multiple bosses. She's working a lot. All right. And with HO, most likely she's doing work that requires her to have a lot of communication, presentations, right? So you can, if you know how to use this luck pillar, right, you know exactly what kind of job or what kind of jobs you can do.
Yep. It's better than striking lottery, Pei Fang. Right? If you know how to plan your activities, your work according to your budget chart, right, I think it is definitely better than striking lottery because not everyone can strike lottery. Okay, Wei Fang. So I hope you love that advice from Kenneth. Okay, I see one from Shalise here. Hi, Kenneth. Seeing the possibility to buy a house is referring to day pillar, and when is it going to happen? Is it referring to when clashes happen? Oh, okay.
Okay, you must understand the purpose of buying a house. Is it for investments or is it for moving houses to stay for yourself? Okay, now, if you have to buy a house and move out of your current place into the new house, we look at the day and the year. Okay, because the year is talking about your external environment, the day is talking about your immediate house that you're living in. Now, if you live in a house and you buy an extra house for investment, then we look at your hour because that talks about your assets. Okay. Now, when is this going to happen? It could happen with clashes, combinations, destructions. Okay, including semi combinations. Okay. So instead of waiting for it to happen, you have to get ready to set the stage so that when it happens for you.
But I'm just curious, yeah, Shalice. If you want to buy a house, just go ahead and buy it, right? Why do you have to wait until you see the possibility to buy a house in your chart? I don't know. Okay, for me, it's like if you want to buy a house and you can afford it, just go ahead and buy it. Am I right? Kind of.
Yeah, I know. It's harder if you're asking for help to sell a house in order to buy a house. I understand, which is exactly my example in my webinar. But if you have enough money to buy a house, just buy a house because you are the person with the buying power anyway, right?
Mhm.
So Shalise Wong said it's for her own stay. So if it's for your own stay, and you want to know roughly when or whether you have this opportunity, right? We can look at the opportunity when you're going to move, which is the year and the day. Okay, but that's moving. It does not mean buying a house. Buying a house is always your year pillar because your houses are under assets.
All right. I think if you have the capacity and you find a good property to purchase, I think that totally, you don't have to look at your budget at all. For me, that's what I think. But if you want to know when is a good timing, I think kind of correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, buying a house for own stay, the moment that you decide to buy the house, it does not matter at all because what matters is when you move into your house because that determines your feng shui of the house as well. Am I correct? To put it that way.
Yeah, correct. Basically, whether it's a good property or not, come for a feng shui assessment first before buying the house. Right, that is
All
very
right,
important
hang on.
because buying a house. Okay.
Yeah, Shalice, I just saw a comment because I want to buy it, but only possible to get a loan with my brother, but he's a bit reluctant to do that.
So your
Okay.
question is not about a house. Your question is about how about fundraising, right? It's about
Mm-hmm.
fundraising. So that throws a totally different dimension into the question. Now, I'm not sure whether you attended my webinar, but do you remember the rules of the game? Okay, the rules of the game is basically whatever you control is your wealth. So if you want to get a loan from your brother, make sure that that is the month that is your wealth month because your wealth month is the month that you control. So that means there is a higher chance of you going out to attack and get the money.
That's right. Now you see, guys, when we dig deeper, right, it's always like that. As it happens usually in consultation because we have more
Yeah,
interaction and all. Right. When we dig deeper, right, we know that the question that you want to ask is really not the question that is supposed to be answered. There are other root cause, that make you want to ask that questions. Okay. I saw J
correct.
Lo here commented. Doesn't the location of the house makes a difference? Yes, of course, the location of the house makes a difference. Okay, but the location of the house cannot be determined by your budget chart. Just look at your budget chart, ma. All right.
Correct. Correct.
Okay. Let's pick some other questions. PT Tan is asking, what if my DW and IW is 75%, but my friend is 45% in my natal? As per your webinar, my friend is unhealthy. And how will it affect my DW and IW?
Remember the very first example I showed you the small kid holding onto two big dogs?
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly what your question is all about. Okay, your IW and DW is way higher than your friend. Now, for those of you who do not know, right, the friend is talking about yourself, the day master itself. Okay, so basically, if your IW and DW is 75%, and your ability to control those two dogs is only 45%. In certain years, okay, naturally, when you're born, right, you are already being dragged. Okay, you're already being dragged by the energies of these two wealth stars. Meaning, if your DW, if you get dragged by your DW, that means your work is controlling you. Okay, working overtime, you have to spend so much time, so much effort, time away from family because your work requires it, but you don't get more rewards. Okay, you are
Ray
doing
commented,
everything. Yeah,
Ray Mark commented, Chinese say, 财多身子弱. That's totally
yeah,
correct.
correct. So what happens is that you get dragged, you work and work and work, you get very tired, but your rewards are the same. Now, IW, on the other hand, is that when people introduce you wealth opportunities, whether it may be property, whether it's a financial investment opportunity, whatever it may be, you get tempted. You get tempted to go in without having the ability to study the risk level. Okay, but the good thing is your DW and IW is 75%. Okay, which is healthy, meaning the activities that tempt you and drag you along are actually above board and doesn't really get you into trouble with the law too much. But you will lose money because you did not do enough research. You don't have the knowledge or the skill set to analyze whether these opportunities are safe to go in. So this is what happens.
Okay, PT Tan. So, yeah, I think Kenneth has explained it pretty clear, and I think you should watch the replay again, all right, if you want to understand more on how you can control it that way. Okay, next one. Okay, I saw some of you already start typing your birth date and time and your gender already. We're going to do the live reading later, all right? Okay, meanwhile, I'm going to just pick questions from the chat to answer directly first, yeah? RT Chung is asking, wealth month means the month which has our wealth stars, is it?
No, the month pillar governs our wealth. Okay, wealth stars are wealth stars. Okay, in my webinar, I said that the month pillar governs our wealth status. Why? Is because the month pillar dictates our activities. So if your activities are mainly, just say 70% of our life activities is in our jobs, is in running our businesses, what we do in the month dictates whether we're going to have more or less wealth. Okay, in my webinar, just say you go out and buy an asset like a property. Okay, and the market is about to crash, right? Do you sell it now or do you hold on and hope for the best? Now that all depends on the month pillar. So if you sell it before the crash, you make money. If you hold on to it and tide through the crash, then you have to wait another 10 years before the property prices might go up to your buying price again. All right, then you lose money, right? So why the month pillar dictates our wealth status is because it controls what we do to ourselves.
Okay, RT, I hope that answers your question. I saw this question from Saucy Lee. I have IW in the hidden stem under my month pillar. How can I make use of my IW to grow my wealth? Now, I like questions like this because you're asking for an action that you could do, right? I have HO in my month pillar and DO in my luck pillar.
Okay, so I'm hoping. Okay, I'm hoping you're a business owner because you will really benefit from this. Okay, if you are a business owner, you have to change your business model. Okay, business model means how you make money, how your business makes money. Okay, it's not just buy sell, it's what kind of value you're offering to the market. Okay, now HO is talking about being out there, expressing your opinion. So you do sales. You do sales, you do marketing, you do webinars on product introductions, stuff like that. Now, DO is about systems. So you got to systemize your business activities for efficiency to maximize cash flow and reduce unnecessary cash burning.
What if Saucily is an employee?
Employee, okay. So HO again, try to be in the sales team or marketing team. Okay. DO is about it's also working in a system, but DO could also mean your boss. It also could mean in a position of authority, DO. Okay, so if you have a chance to take on a leadership role, take on a leadership role, right? And then if you do sales, you might be the sales team where people reports to you. You might give sales training and all that stuff. Now, IW, right? How to grow your wealth if you are a employee, right? So what happens is that if you're in the sales team, you teach them how to sell. All right, you teach them how to sell, how to monetize. Okay, that means, for example, you teach them to sell value instead of products and services. Okay, and then just say you create a database so they can follow up much easier, to do further marketing much easier, right? And then you create a system to run the entire department. Okay.
All right. Saucily. So I hope we gave you two different scenario, whether you are a business owner or an employee. I am pretty sure you can do something about that. Okay. Shireen is asking, I have Roth Wealth RW at my month pillar under hidden stem. Does it mean that I will be is it mean we're always facing high competition among colleagues in my job field?
Yes and no. Okay. Now you have to be smart when you use RW. Okay. Now, if you want to keep all the rewards, yes, high competition. For example, salesman versus salesman. All right. It's either you get the sale or I get the sale. High competition. Now, RW is also about partnership. If you collaborate with all the salespeople in your team, all right, and split the profits accordingly, wouldn't it be collaboration? That means collaboration of efforts, and then rewards are being split. So you eliminate the competition and you amplify the sales efforts.
So instead of working alone and trying to compete with your team, with your competition, your colleagues, your peers, right? Might as well you guys form like a team effort. Am I right?
Now, just say you work in a structure that is not a team effort. What else can you do, right? Now, this is a bit of a tactical play, right? Just say you are irresponsible for your own job. But no man is an island. Sometimes you need the cooperation of certain departments, you need the cooperation of certain people, right? Whenever you get a reward, okay, go and buy them lunch. Say thank you. Correct not? Maintain that relationship. That person knows, oh, this guy got a sale, but he's grateful for my help. So that's rock wealth as well. You're spending money to build that hidden partnership, right?
I
So
think that's pretty good advice.
Yeah, exactly.
Sometimes we gotta do what we gotta do. I mean, people don't just like you or help you. Not everybody likes to help someone, willingly, right? But if you're nice to other people, I'm pretty sure that they will be more willing to help you compared to if you are snobbish or if you think that you can do it all by yourself, right? Okay,
Exactly.
shall we? All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. Cornelia Koo is asking, which pillar do you refer to when looking at selling up a business? Is it the month or year pillar in conjunction with luck pillar?
What is selling up a business? Are you
I think
selling a business?
selling a business. I think what she meant is selling a business.
Okay, when you sell a business, right, your business falls under your assets category. Okay, so you look at your hour.
All right, Cornelia.
Is it? Yeah, yeah.
Does it matter? Is it in conjunction with luck pillar? She also asked that. Does it matter?
No,
Luck pillar?
no, no, it doesn't matter. This is just your activity.
Okay, Cornelia. Right. Many questions. I think there are a few behind this that I've not picked yet. I gotta scroll back later. Meanwhile, HS is asking, only IW is seen in natal month hidden stem, being one and only profile 100%. What is the pros and cons? How should the individual optimize it?
I do not know the percentage of your friends. So now, just based on your question, right? That means you only have IW and zero DW. Okay, that means now 100% is also unhealthy. That means you see you are a chaser for opportunities, financial opportunities. These are not jobs. These are like trades, right? Deal making. All right, you chase for it. However, 100% is unhealthy. So sometimes you might get tempted by the trade, even though it might be illegal. Okay? So that means because it's unhealthy, right? You're just going after the money, but you don't care whether it's, you just hope that you don't get caught. Okay? Now, when you have zero DW, that means even if you make $1 million, next year you're still going to be poor because you have no financial management. You earn $1 million, you spend $1 million. That is what it means. So now, how should the individual optimize it? Don't optimize it anymore. You're at 100%, right? What you should do, you should train yourself to understand what are good opportunities, what are safe opportunities, what are legal opportunities, and regulate that 100%. Don't optimize it anymore, right?
Yeah. Okay. And I think another tip is like what you told me, right? Try to learn to keep what you earn, right?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Carol Chua here is asking, I have 7K, 7 killings, and DE in my month pillar, and 7K is also hidden. It's also in the hidden. I'm not sure what it means. Can you give me some insights?
Very simple. 7K is about courage. Courage inside DE, your courage is half. So in your month, which is in your career or in your job, whatever you want to do, right? Sometimes you find, right? For example, if you want to give a presentation, before the presentation, right, you might freak out a bit. Cold sweat, go to the toilet many times, wash your hands before going into the presentation to talk to people, right? Or maybe you get your basically just say you are assigned to do something. You get worried because you're lacking the courage. So many times you will realize that in situations, in order to get jobs done, you are actually constantly forcing yourself to be in the uncomfortable region for a start
Which
until
is
things.
good, right? I think it's good, right, to force yourself in out of your comfort zone, because only if you face your fears, right, then you will not fear it anymore.
Well, this will always be there because the 7K is in DE, right? So what happens is it's not good, right? It's good to face your fears, but whatever you do, right, you will always have this fear. So now forcing yourself is admirable, but it's hard to do because it's going against the self-defense mechanism that we humans were built with, right? So sometimes when the lack of courage is there, it prevents you from taking a bigger step. But for the sake of doing your job and getting paid at the end of the month, right, you have no choice but to force yourself. So it's actually very uncomfortable, right? So now the thing is this, okay? Is courage, right? Normally comes because you're not confident about something. You don't have enough data. You're left guessing. You fear failure, right? You fear rejection and all that stuff. So what happens is that this is one trick I teach people, right? Expect to get rejected, expect failure. But through failure, you learn what not to do. And the next time you have to do it, right, find another way. So eventually you will find a way that works. And then once you have the information that's going to work, right, courage will slowly and naturally build up without you having to do anything.
Spot on, Kenneth. Okay, that is really, really, something that has happened to a lot of people, to myself as well. I when I first started, right? Okay, as in these live talks and everything, right? Can you guys imagine my first Facebook live that I did? I think it was 2 years ago, last year during the pandemic. I don't dare to go live, just Facebook live. I have to pre-record it first. Okay, pre-record it so that I review and review and review. Okay, then only I post it. But because
Yeah.
due to work work reasons, right, I gotta do live, okay, emceeing and all. And there are times when I first started, right, my armpit really sweat, perspiring, because I have 7K in my chart, and it's in DE as well, okay, half as well. All right, so I choose to face my fears, okay, and I think I am proud of what I have achieved so far. As in, I no longer sweat in my armpit when I talk.
Very
So
good. Because
that would be
yeah,
great.
because my 7K is also in DE. So every time before Facebook Live, you guys see me like so confident or whatever, right? Before we go live, right? I'll be running to the toilet at 2-3 times in 5 minutes. Pure putting water on my hair lah, splashing water lah, because this is the 7K in DE. But you're going to do it. You have to do it anyway, right? So just this is when you take a bit more time for preparation setting. That means you set yourself, take a bit more time. Don't rush, right? Just take your time, deep breaths, okay, and do it. Then once you start, right, you get comfortable, right? Everything goes away. All the fear, all the discomfort, all the uncertainties just goes away, right? So it's fine, not to worry.
That's right. Okay, Carol. So I hope that is pretty clear for you. Okay, there's so many questions coming up. All right, let me pick this first. Bernie Young is asking, a true HO in the month pillar top and bottom. All right. Am I right to focus on speaking and just keep doing what I'm doing? Be great at it, given my HO is 100%. I have a DW on my second highest. IW is 0.
Okay. Yes, keep doing what you are doing. Okay, that is what you have to do. Now, what you need to pay attention to. 100% HO, very dangerous. Why? Because you cannot accept opposing opinions or criticism at all. Basically, this is what it means, right? Whatever you do, you're so proud of it that everybody has to give acknowledgement and agree that whatever you do, whatever you produce, whatever you say, right, has to be good. Now, if people do not have the intentions of criticizing you, but as long as you sense that people they are not 100% in agreement with you, you cannot take it. That's why 100% HO, we term them as like divas, right? Divas, it's very hard to work with because everything they want their way. They don't care about money. They don't care about everything. They just care about the performance, right? And you have to like it. You have to. It's not a choice, okay? So that's why this is the part that in terms of working relationship, it might get a bit affected, okay? Now, if you're a speaker, you focus on speaking, all right? And this is the part when you have a Q&A session and people start to say certain things that is not aligned with your thoughts and your ideas, you tend to be a bit, you react in a very negative way, right? It's either like, since you don't appreciate my art, my skill, get out. This is the tendency that you might have, or it might be brewing in you, right? Now, if you have DW on my as the second higher, I'm not sure about the percentage, right? But I'm assuming it's more than 65%. That means, in terms of financial management, you have it, right? But in terms of working with people, you tend to be a bit too micromanaging, right? Meaning that you like to poke your finger into everybody's work. It has to be done this way. It has to be done this way. It has to be done this way, right? Now, in terms of IW being 0, basically you just keep doing your art, but you don't think of monetizing. You do not know how to monetize. For example, you speak, right? People speak to educate. people speak to educate. People speak to inform. People speak to sell, right? Now, you only speak
Because you like it, is it?
because you like it, because you're HO, but you don't know what you're speaking for. Because if I ask you to speak to sell, you don't care. You just want to speak and be admired. Do great at speaking. But speaking is not just about speaking. All right. Speaking is a skill whereby it leads to something, right? It leads to something, whether it leads to selling a book, whether it leads to inform people how important consults are, right? Whether you're speaking to spread a certain message that is important to people, and you have a product that comes with the message, right? I mean, you speak, but you need to eat, right? You know what I mean saying? So basically, you need to speak to provide a certain service. There has to be a purpose. Don't just speak for the sake of speaking, you know. So that's why IW being zero, right? You don't like it when you speak to lead to something. You just want to speak. You just want to perform the art of speaking.
Okay, I think I just thought of this as like, it's like a karaoke singer. If you like to sing in karaoke, which is not generating you any income, but you're good at it, compared to being a professional singer where people hire you for gigs where you get money for it. I just thought of this. All right, Bernie.
Yeah, pretty
Bernie
much.
just
Yeah.
said, yeah, thank you. Truly appreciate this great feedback.
Welcome, welcome.
Okay. Yeah, glad that you find it useful. All right. How are the rest of you doing? Yeah, we have been answering, I think, more than 20 questions now non-stop. Okay. Are you guys learning something out of all the questions that has been answered? I mean, these Q&A sessions, right, it's not just meant to address your personal questions, but through these questions and advice that are given, right, we hope that it can help you use examples that are similar to your current situation, your current charts, okay, to analyze it yourself as well, right? So if you guys like this, you're happy with this, please type in a comment so that we know. We are not just doing this because we like it, okay? We need to get some. I have a lot of self-realization. As you say, as you speak, right, I think, yeah, are we doing this because we like it? Oh, so we must focus more on them, see whether they're okay or not right now.
Yeah, exactly. See, a lot of people think that we do all this, speak all this to sell consult, sell classes. You see, you guys remember one thing: we don't sell classes, we don't sell consults. We spread messages on what helps you, and if you think that we can help you, then naturally we don't have to sell you anything, right? Because you see, the message is more important. Like a lot of you would not sign or spend money with us, but it's okay because you need to learn. Now that's the biggest value of all. You guys need to learn. All right. Then once you learn and you start achieving, then you realize that a consult will escalate what you have already achieved. Okay.
That's
So
right.
it's yeah. So it's right now what the JY group is doing. Like a lot of consultants with Facebook Live and all that stuff. Right, we are spreading different messages that we think people need. People need to hear, seriously need to hear in this time, right?
Yep.
So that's why we're sharing so much.
Yeah. Thank you so much for all your comments, all your encouragement here. Yongju said, yes, very useful. Okay. Yan said, great learning. All right. Carol said, yeah, enjoying very much. Okay. And this JC Gossis said, thanks a lot. Kenneth is very good and at transmitting the essential concepts. Yeah, I totally agree with that. I'm one of his
Yeah.
fan. Yeah. The first, I'm your first fan. Maybe not first now, okay? I'm your most supportive fan.
It's okay, I'll give you number one. It's okay.
Okay. Now, guys, hang on, yeah. As I've said just now, okay, we will do some live reading, all right? So, but before we go to the live reading, right, I just want to let you guys know about this wealth discovery coaching that we have just launched during the webinar. All right. So this is a coaching session by Kenneth Wong. All right. If you think that what Kenneth has just done through this Q&A session, what he has preached and taught during the webinar is something that is relatable to you, is something that you think could help you address whatever questions in terms of wealth, okay, your personal financial goals that you have, right? So I do encourage you to consider to sign up for this wealth discovery coaching, all right, which will be conducted by Kenneth Wong. All right. Basically, is to guide you how you can discover the wealth potential within your chart. I think maybe Kenneth, why don't you do this? You tell them you have already conducted quite a few wealth discovery coaching sessions past 2 days, right? Maybe you tell them how it's conducted.
Okay, I'm just going to talk to you about the 2 wealth discovery coaching sessions that I did today itself. The last one was like half an hour before this live event. Okay. Now, what I realize is the trend is that everybody that comes to the wealth coaching has a certain plan on how to grow their wealth, but at the end of the coaching, they're like, they leave with another plan. They realize that their plan is actually not the right plan, and they leave with a better plan. For example, the latest one that I did, he came to me and he said, Kenneth, I'm 50 plus. Okay. I want to, I don't have that much time to work, maybe maximum another 15 years more before I retire. I said, great. Now, I want to invest so that money makes money. Okay. So from my chart, can you tell me what are my growth opportunities and how I should do it? Okay. So normally, because you're talking about wealth discovery here. Okay. Now, when I looked at his chart, I'm like, I don't think you should bother about investments right now because investments is not your problem. Now, because his investments, which is IW, that means the investments energy influencing him. That's why he's thinking about investments. But he basically forgot about the low DW, which he only had about, I think, 40 or 41%. So what this tells me is that he has poor financial management. That's why at the end of every month, he doesn't seem to save much money, right? So you see, this is also a wealth trap. Okay, this is also a wealth trap because even if I promote him and pay him $1 million a month, the more he earns, the more he spends. And his friend star is very low, which is like 30+%. That means DW is low enough, but his friend star is even lower. That means he totally has no idea how to manage money. Now, what we further discovered next year for him was that he's got great opportunities, opportunities for promotions, a lot of combinations, leading a team. So he's going to see increments in his salary. Now, that's not going to do much for him in terms of wealth because the more he earns, the more he spends. And his networks are going to expand next year. So he's going to spend even more, right? So, if you do not understand your wealth block, right? Even if I give you the best opportunities, it might become even worse for you. Next year, he might even become, even poorer than now because he's overspending, right? So what I did during the consult was I actually gave him a system, a DW system, all right? Personal finance system, whereby if he earns so much, put how much aside, a certain percentage goes into this, a certain percentage goes into that, and follow it with discipline. Because with discipline, you increase the skill set for your friend star. And if you follow the system and it becomes a habit, your DW skill set goes up as well. So I'm activating his friend, I'm activating his DW. And I also educated him in terms of investments because I told him investments are done, okay, with disposable income. Right now, you don't even have disposable income. You have a cash flow problem. So the only way if you want to go into investments is that you have to first control your cash flow issues, grow it into a healthy stage, get used to the discipline, get used to growing it into a healthy range, then come for another consult. Then we talk about your investment opportunities. So he came into the coaching thinking that, okay, I'm going to use my whatever CPF money in Singapore or in Australia, call it superannuation and, that kind of money to invest. I say, no, that is like your backup plan in case anything happens, right? So I taught him how to activate and improve his DW together with his friend star so that it gets him to a better position. So now he left the consult with a DW system. Right, so you can see what happens during a wealth discovery coaching. So you come in with this intention, you leave understanding the traps and what you have to do now, right? And this is a lifetime survival skill set.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
It is very useful. A lot of us, it's not that we don't have the capacity or the skill to make money. It's a matter of how we can progress from what we are already doing on a day-to-day basis. And I think that with this coaching session, like what Kenneth has just shared, one of the example that of a consult that he has just done half an hour before we started this live, it gives you tremendous foresight or a tremendous action plan that you could already start executing for yourself, right? So yeah, this is a private one-on-one session for 60 minutes. Like Kenneth said, we usually say 60 minutes, but Kenneth always talk a lot. All right. So yeah, so it's around 60 minutes lah, or more or less. All right. So conducted virtually over Zoom online meeting. Okay, so you'll have your private session with Kenneth at a time and date that you preferred, as long as Kenneth is available. All right, and it's at $197 only. Okay, I think this is a super valuable a coaching session that you can get. Okay, the information and actions that you could implement after this coaching session will be like what Kenneth say, a skill that you could carry for the rest of your life. All right. We have only have limited to 30 slots. Okay. And we have already started selling this during the webinar. Yeah. So we already sold 22 slots already. So there are only 8 remaining. Okay, and during the webinar, we did announce that I did post on the chat. Some of you did not see it, right? The chat that initially Kenneth mentioned that just 10 people, okay, will get the action plan, the action guide, where it's a physical one-pager PDF report that laid out whatever that he told you during the consult, what you should do. Because sometimes, after a verbal conversation, you might just, if you don't write down on what you are supposed to do, you might just forget about it, sit on it. But if you have a report, a one-page action guide for you to remind yourself, print it out, stick it on your wall to remind yourself this is what you got to do. All right, it definitely helps you more. Okay, so we have 8 remaining slots, okay, to be taken. All right, that will come with an action guide as well. Okay, so if you're interested, all right, you can register here at joeyyap.com/wealth discovery. Okay, so this is a last call for now. All right, if you have any other questions or inquiries, right, you can contact our team at consults@joeyyap.com or WhatsApp the phone number that is stated there. Okay, guys?
Yeah,
So,
great. Yeah, guys, just for you to know, right? Normally a consult with an action guide costs about 300 US. So when Team Joya wanted to launch this came without an action guide. But of course, me being me, I said, no, give it to them. So that was why we announced it for the first 10 who signed up, just to say thank you. But because a lot of people say, oh, I'm interested and I want the action guide as well. So Ari, being the nice goddess that she is, she said, fine, we'll just offer the action guide. I mean, Kenneth's going to do the work anyway, right? So she's like, let's offer to all 30 people. So that's why now you guys are getting a consult worth 300 US dollars for 197. Right? And we only have 8 slots left.
Should thank Kenneth for this as well, because he put in a lot of effort and hard work, not just in advising, and a lot of passion, I think, personally feel in helping at least to give you ultimately to help you achieve what you're supposed to achieve. Okay, so yeah, okay, if you want to thank him, want to support us, okay, go ahead and engage Kenneth for this wealth discovery session. All right, so without further ado, let's pick some of you for the live reading. Okay, type in your gender, your date of birth and time of birth, and what you would like Kenneth to help you in this live reading based on your budget chart. Type in the chat right now. I'll pick about 3 to 4. Okay, and flash your chart on the screen so that we can do a live reading. Okay, guys. While waiting, Kenneth, you can tell them a story, okay? Since I need about a few seconds to plot the chart.
Yeah, because now Ari needs me to talk because now she's starting to get busy. Okay. Yeah. So you see, I'm the kind of consultant whereby I'm focused on what you need to hear to help you. Right. So my very first wealth discovery was actually helping a business owner who was struggling with a decision whether to quit or not. right? And what happened was, so she wanted something more than a wealth discovery. She wanted like a full consult, which was like worth more than $300. But I always believe in the power of affinity. The fact that we can connect and you come for a consult with me, because I am a very new consultant to the JY team. What I gave her was a combination of wealth discovery, which was what was blocking her from her wealth pursuits. At the same time, I also gave her some business coaching tips, which people pay US 1997 for. And I included it in the action guide. So, if you come for consult with me, don't worry about, okay, I paid lesser. Is he going to give me less? No, I'm going to give you what you need. Okay, I'm not going to give you everything. I'm going to give you what you need right now to help you, because anything else extra is not going to help you until you achieve the first two milestones that that is very, very life-changing for you, right? The wealth discovery consults that I've done, everybody left with something. Everybody left with a different education, with a different plan, and they managed to discover things that they never knew it was actually causing them not to be rich, despite all the opportunities that came to them. Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Kenneth. All right, for sharing that experience. While I'm just done plotting the first chart, okay. And this is for Elena Dionik. I'm not sure if I pronounced your last name correctly. I'm sorry if I don't. Date of birth, What is the best way to serve people with still looking well after my health? All right. Let me flash her chart on the screen right now. Hang on, yeah.
Okay, got it.
What do you need me to show you?
Okay, just go down to the profiles anyway. So just take a look. So if you come for the wealth discovery coaching, right, I will look mainly at your profiles, because it gives a very clear understanding of, a snapshot of what we're looking at. Okay, if you want to help people while taking care of your health, now health normally is represented, okay, if you look at the structure, which is on the left, okay, which is on the left. Okay, now the general guideline for health is wood, the element of wood. Okay, so wood is right on top, right? Now this person is born with generally good health, because she has all the 5 elements. If you look at the yellow, right? If you look at the yellow structure, the yellow one, that's what she's born with. Now, when you have a structure like that for health, right? Now, normally we always say that we get jealous, right? Because this is good health, meaning you do get sick, but you recover faster. And whenever you get sick, right, it's not that bad. But if you look at this year, right, her wood element went all the way down, right? So naturally, she might face aches and pains, because metal chop wood. Metal is very strong. Okay, metal is very strong at companion, and wood is very weak, right? So first of all, you have to understand what is causing. Is your nature of work require you to run around, or you can do it over Zoom like us? Okay, if you can do it over Zoom like us, which is recommended nowadays because of what we are going through right now, right? Focus everything on Zoom. And if you want to help people, you can do a lot more help over Zoom, over the web. Okay. And what happens is that, if your health takes a turn for the worse, right? Just regulate the timings of your service. Make sure you have enough rest, because if you are working from home, regulation is very, very important. Okay. Now, if you see the fire in the structure has also gone close to 0. All right. That means you have less energy. Okay. You have less energy, motivation, drive as well. So first of all, your mental state has to be clear. So rest is very, very important. Okay. So this is what's happening to you this year. Okay, and let me see. Okay. Your earth. So you have earth, you have strong metal, right? And then you have water. So basically, you have wood and fire health issues this year. So fire talks about maybe your eyes, maybe your heart, right? Wood talks about your joints or your liver, right? So if you're feeling aches and pains, right, basically maybe you are sitting too long in front of the computer. So regulate your service timings and regulate your resting timings. All right. And once you regulate it, right, you also start to improve the fire, because the fire is also about the clarity in your mental state. Okay, so you're still able to help people by providing an online service because your water is strong, so your output is already healthy, so it's okay. So it's all about regulating your timings.
Okay. Sorry, yeah. I guess I'm trying to multitask here while listening to you plot another chart.
Now this is the most fun part when we see Aries stressing, okay?
Yeah.
Because
But
yeah, carry on, yeah.
yeah, and then I plotted out the chart already, right? But I cannot find back the person who, you asked the questions in the chat now. Where did it
Yeah,
go? Okay, wait.
yeah, guys. So welcome to our Q&A session, because this is where the comedy starts. Okay. So yeah, because this would be a common thing when we try to do live readings live, right? So this is what we do.
Okay, found it. All right. So Elena, I hope I hope that helps you. And I think even though I was multitasking, I'm still listening. All right, I heard some of it. I think Kenneth did address your concerns. Okay, your questions as well. Okay, so now let's move on to the next lucky asker, Fiona Petron. Philippines. I'm a financial consultant. May I know my wealth, luck, and direction, and how to get more clients? All right. So I have already plotted her budget chart. Share it here. All right. So born on 9th of January 1980, female. Okay.
Yeah, just look at the NATO chart for now. Okay, so if the first thing is, oh, your whole chart is affected this year, yeah? Life changing, okay? Now, if you look at the year, it's the goat. Now, in the year of the ox, it clashes with the goat. That means your market changes, okay? Your market changes. Okay, so market changes meaning, okay, when the goat clashes when the ox clashes with the goat, okay, it's getting clashed in. That means things are happening to you. Now, clashes might not be bad, okay, but what clashes out of your goat is important. Now, you can see that there's a clash of IR in the goat, right? And then what clashes out? Your fire, 7K clashes out, and your IW clashes out, right?
My drawing sucks, right? Sorry.
It's okay. I'm trying not to say that. Yeah. So what happens is that your 7K comes out. So what's happening to you this year? You might face certain situations whereby it's costing you a bit of irritation. It's costing you a bit of problems to solve. Okay, but you see, this is what I always tell people: the biggest wealth is about solving problems. The bigger the problem, the bigger the solution, the bigger the wealth opportunity. Okay, because not only does your 7K gets clashed out, your IW gets clashed out. Now, IW is a strategic play, so you have to think strategically how to solve the problem in order to reap in the rewards. Okay, now let's look at the month pillar. The month pillar is talking about the ox. Ox month, ox year. This is called a Grand Duke effect. Okay, so that means in the month, you are given the opportunity to step up into a leadership role. Okay, IR in the ox talks about indirect resource. That means maybe your opportunity to step up this year was through a recommendation, referral, and all that stuff, right? So that's very IR. Now, in the day, the snake forms a semi-combination with the ox, produces the sin metal. Now, sin metal to you is you, the friend, right? So that means you have a lot of networking opportunities, people who like you, the same value system, right? So basically you have great networking opportunities to increase your networks, penetrate new networks, form niche networks, right? Now, in your hour is also another goat, right? So, like we said, again, 7K and IW comes up. So you might have to solve problems for your clients. You might also have to solve problems for your suppliers, for your downline, for your staff. Okay, so now more problems means more opportunities. Okay, understand that first. Because when you have problems, you have the opportunity to solve it. And if you're able to solve it, you have value. Now, value will equate to rewards. That is your financial wealth opportunity for the remaining 5 months of 2021.
Wow, that is very detailed, Kenneth. I
Okay.
hope you have written down what Kenneth have just said. Okay, if you missed any part of it, you watch the replay later and try to
Watch the
capture.
replay. Watch the replay. Okay, watch the replay.
All right.
Sorry,
Okay.
this is what I do. This is what I do during consults. Okay, so yeah.
Yeah. So I think, well, which is why the action guide will come in very handy. Okay, because
Yeah, pretty much,
if
yes.
you don't write as fast as whoever, I don't write that fast. I don't type that fast. So it will be very, very, very useful. Okay. I have not plotted the next chart yet. Okay. So I'm gonna pick right now. I saw a lot of you. I've given the information. Okay. Yunsi asking when can I find my Mr. Right. I'm not gonna pick you. Sorry, Yunsi. This is supposed to be wealth related Q&A. Yeah. So the next round when we do relationship, okay, then Kenneth can help.
Disclaimer again, if you want to ask Kenneth Wong about relationships, I'm a metal consultant, so I don't sugarcoat stuff. Okay, so disclaimer, okay?
All right. I'll need you to take over a few seconds first while I plot this chart. Yeah. Kenneth.
Yeah,
Talk for a while
I'm
first while
sorry,
I
I'm
plot the
sorry,
chart.
okay, I'm sorry, okay. Okay, guys, I just want to ask, all right, those of you who attended my webinar, how many of you found the letting go story impactful? Okay, how many of you found the letting go story impactful and you found that that story was talking to you? Or you are too busy typing all your questions? All right, Cynthia, all right, thank you. All right, everybody found it, right? Now, see, in the webinar, I did mention, because this was not planned, okay? This was not planned because this was a last minute insertion into the presentation and the slides because I took it as a sign from the universe to tell you this message because 10 days in the last 10 days leading up to the webinar, all the consults that I did, right, 90% of the clients gave me a feeling that they had troubles letting go of what they thought was safe. The idea of how things should be done, because that was how they grew up and they saw successes, right? And this was actually killing them a lot. And to be honest, not that I'm trying to sound great, but it started to hurt me quite a bit. It started to hurt me because I'm a consultant trying to help you. That's the reason why I joined JY. Right. But when people have problems letting go, I realize that no matter how fantastic I sound during a consult, or even JY himself comes down to slap you, you are not going to improve because you are hanging on to whatever you feel safe and whatever you know, and you are afraid to take the step of change. Okay, so even if you don't come for a consult and the story does impact you the way a bit, because you guys are intelligent people, you guys know what I'm talking about. Everybody holds on to different things that is dear to them emotionally. Now, sometimes it might be good to come to terms with yourself and learn to start letting go a bit at a time if it's too painful. Okay.
Yeah. I think that is very important as well. I think not just our past experience, but I personally feel that trying to let go of your own ego will help as well. Okay, in a lot of time, if we are too proud or if we are overconfident of what we are currently doing, then it is more difficult for you to take a suggestion from other people, to be more open up for other suggestion that could probably do you much better, right?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll do a final live reading. Yeah. Okay. We have took more than 1.5 hours now already. So the final asker I've picked is Madeline. Madeline is asking, is this a good period for me to start a new business? What would be the best role within this business for me? How can I maximize my opportunities? I think it's a very good question there. So I'm going to share her chart right now. Madeline, I hope you're still here with us.
Yeah, natal chart.
Okay.
Let me expand my. Okay. Start your business. Okay. Okay. Let me see. Things are again. You are born in the year of the goat, so the ox comes and clash with the goat. Okay. Now, obviously, this year you're going to face certain. You already know the changes already came in. Okay, so you should know what's happening. Because of these changes, you are forced to do HO activities, right? HO activities will be clashed out, and RW will be clashed out as well. So that means maybe we are forced to take contract jobs, right? And your job will most probably involve, speaking, presenting, communication. Now, if you want to start a business, right? If you want to start a business next year might be a good time, right? Because it forms a semi-combination with the tiger, yin, wu, shi, yeah. So what happens is that, but you will form a partnership with more than one partner. Because it's a 3-harmony combination. So 3-harmony means more than one partner. So multiple partners. Okay. So next year your opportunity might come. Okay. Now who is thing? Okay, thing. So basically, so again, next year when you form this partnership, you will probably be in charge of being the face of the company in terms of sales, marketing. You're out there speaking a lot, presenting a lot, right? Expressing a lot, educating a lot. Okay. Then then you have the rabbit in the hour, right? Now, tiger, rabbit, dragon belongs to the same season of wood. Now, wood to you is about networking, is yourself, right? So it's about friend and rock wealth. So what you would do is you have a very strong chance of a partnership. And the way when you go out and sell, you are basically going out to form partnerships. So it's a very good opportunity to form a downline. That means affiliate marketing, maybe even distributors, right? Maybe even partnering with your suppliers, right? Start a loyalty program, right? So and then start building like a customer base, right? So these are all the opportunities available for you next year. So what do you do now? All right. So what do you do now? Start setting the stage. Start planning. Start having conversations with your potential partners. All right. Look at the market. See where the pandemic is going. Try to digitize everything. Go online if it's best. Right. See what kind of platforms you can work with. See what kind of partners you can work with. Okay. And start planning. You only have 5 months before this opportunity comes. Get started.
Wow, that's amazing. Thank you so much, Kenneth. And I think, Madeline, this is really, I think this is just, you have just got yourself a $300 worth of consult live reading. Okay. So,
Yeah, pretty
I hope,
much.
yeah, I hope you will take action for what you are, the opportunities that are about to come your way next year. Okay, so thank you so much, all of you. Okay, I'm sorry that we couldn't pick all of you for the reading. I mean, it will be impossible to do that unless we spend the whole night until the next morning doing this. Okay, but I do hope that for those of you who have seen, how this live reading is done. Okay, you will get much more during the the wealth discovery coaching session with Kenneth. All right. So if you are still thinking about it, and after looking at the live readings and you think, this is really some advice that I could use, I hope I could get as well, right? So go ahead to this link that I've just displayed on the screen, joeyyap.com/wealth discovery, to enroll right now. Okay. Meanwhile, all right, I hope you guys have enjoyed this session. Let us know if you have had fun, okay, learning or listening or getting your answers. All right. And we will see you guys next time. Thank you,
See you
Kenneth.
guys.
All
Thank
right.
you.
Bye bye.
Bye.